Hello, hello, hello. Hey everyone. How is your Wednesday going? I hope great. I just want to make sure that I am live and I'm just not talking to myself. It's Wednesday and I'm in LA and it is hot in LA, guys. I don't know how hot is it where you are? Because here it is pretty hot. It's like 105 or something. So now I have to have my hair up because I'm dying. Okay, so I'm all set up here on my webinar. Today, we're going to be talking about impact. So over the last few weeks, we've been talking about the 4 pillars to positive change. And if you have a comment or anything that you want to say on the live webinar, please, please, please say hi. I love your likes and your, I don't like your dislikes. I like your loves and all of that great stuff. James, I am not sick of you. I love you guys, and I had a great call with your wife today. Hi, Dale. Hi, Andrew. Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to be talking about the 4 pillars of change. So over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about the 4 pillars of change, and each week I broke off one pillar at a time. The first week was about reflection and why reflection is important. The second week was about direction and why direction is important. Last week was about action and why we take action, but also why sometimes we don't take action. And this week is about impact. So how to have a positive impact so that we can create intention or build the intention that we want to create and have the impact that we want to create. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But this video will probably be about 15 minutes. It's 3:25 now. So I'm hoping to just not blabber on for too long. Hey, Andrew. And then in about 15 minutes, I'm going to give you a special treat for watching this to the end. I know, that's my little hook for you guys. So what I want to ask you guys, everybody who's watching, what do you think the most common reason that people don't have positive influence? What's the one biggest reason why people don't have a positive influence? Go ahead and type your answer into the chat box. Let me know what you think the one thing is, or the one most common reason people don't have influence. I want to hear what everybody has to say. And actually, I'm dying to know what you have to say. So put your answer in the chat box. Let me know. And if you have any questions, just please let me know as well. Hey, Kenneth. So what's the one common reason people do not, the most common reason people do not have positive influence? They don't know how to listen. And that is true. But just hang on, and that is part of one of the reasons. But Andrew, if you were listening to my master share on leadership, that is part of leading with less. So listening is the very first part of leading with less. So thank you for that. So when we are mindful, or when we are in the midst of action, how often do we reach a midpoint when we're in the process of an action, or we've created the direction, we've taken the reflection, we've created the direction, now we're in action on whatever plan or whatever we're doing, and we reach this midpoint, which feels like failure. Everybody's been there. You reach this midpoint where it feels like we're failing. And then what happens? We want to give up, right? We're just like, oh my God, I'm terrible at this. This sucks. This isn't what I had planned. It's way harder than I thought it was. And so we reach this failure point, or we butt up against this wall. So this is often the exact time when we need to reflect and remember the impact that we want to have, and that we intentionally set out to do. And what is it that we intended? And are we creating what we intended to do? So is the impact that we wanted to have when we're butting up against that failure, and we're in that midpoint, is that part, are we achieving the impact that we intended to do? And is the impact that whatever action or whatever plan that we're taking out, is it positive? Is the impact that we're having positive? So when you're reaching that midpoint of failure and you want to quit, you have to stop and you have to reflect on the impact you're having. And even when you think that you're in momentum and everything's going good, you stop. Actually, on a daily basis, it should be a habit to reflect on the impact that you're having on the people around you. And then do we need to adjust our plan, or are we acting in fear because we're reaching this midpoint, right? So here is, I have some people that, let's see, I've got a couple answers. What is the biggest reason that people don't have influence? I've got Andrew Finkelstein that says they don't know how to listen. I've got Dale that says low self-esteem. And if you are comfortable with yourself, you can apply all of your attention to others. And all of that's correct. And here's my answer, and it fills in with all of, it's like one big answer, is that people focus on improving their circumstances and not improving themselves. So people focus on improving their circumstances and not on themselves. And in leadership, you guys, it's all about you. Every single day, you need to be doing something to work on yourself. And if you're honest and you have integrity and you listen, like Andrew said, to what people are saying to you, you can then start gathering information to know what you need to do to work on yourself, so that you can then have a positive impact on the people that you lead. Because isn't that what we want? We want a positive impact on the people that we lead. Yeah, that's how, when we lead a team, or I had a great conversation with one of my coaching clients today. She said she's removing the word team out of her vocabulary, and she's thinking about using the word community, which I love the word community, because what is community, you guys? It's common unity. It's what brings a group of people together in common unity that makes a community. And if you hear me speak and you hear me talk at different things, you'll know that I say that all the time, is community is common unity. So that is the reason why people don't have a positive influence on their people they lead, on the people around them. They don't have a positive impact on them because they don't know how they're looking for fulfillment instead of they're looking for fulfillment and improving their circumstances, and they're not looking to improve themselves. It all starts with you. Leadership always starts with you. So what impact determines legacy, right? The impact that we have, we need to think broader. We need to think infinite. Impact determines our legacy. So the kind of impact that we have right now today, because this is all we have is today, the kind of impact we have today determines what our legacy is when we're not around anymore. I mean, nobody really wants to think that they're not going to be around anymore, but someday we're not going to be around anymore. So what kind of a legacy, what do we leave with people? What kind of impact did we have on people? So as leaders, everything begins and ends with our intention. So it's that. Another thing is to say mindset. What is your mindset? And so when you're standing outside of your salon, or you're standing outside your business, or you're standing outside your home, or you're standing outside a meeting, or whatever you're standing outside of, you have to actually get yourself in the right mindset to then walk in and create that intention. That's what we need to do. Mindset, all about mindset. You can be in the horriblest thing happened to you 5 minutes ago, and then you walk into a big meeting where all of your staff is sitting there, and you can't, as leaders, you can't have a positive impact if you're living back what happened 5 minutes ago, right? So everything begins and ends with our intention. We will always have an impact, no matter if it's positive or negative. We always have an impact, positive or negative. So choose right now. Do you want a positive impact, or do you want to have a negative impact on your team? Choose, because you're going to have an impact. It can be good or bad, right? Think about people who have impacted your life, and some of the people who have impacted you just as much positively can you stand out in your mind just as much as those people who have impacted your life negatively. And actually, the people who impact our lives sometimes negatively really stand out in our mind a lot more than the positive impactors, right? So self-fulfillment versus self-development. This is what we want to talk about. Self-fulfillment versus self-development. It's internal versus external. Self-fulfillment, this is the most common reason, is people don't know how to change themselves and don't look inward at issues that happen in their companies or in their lives. And so often people seek to self-fulfillment, like you talk about, oh, I feel terrible. Let me fulfill myself with, some ice cream. Or, we all do it. You guys, we all have these habits that we have to create self-fulfillment. Money is a huge thing. It's a self-fulfilled prophecy, right? Money, what kind of, there's some people, and I won't mention any names, but there are some people that they they want money so that they can control people because it gives them self-fulfillment. Is that the leader, the kind of leader that you want to be? Do you want to use payroll or pay systems and manipulation to inspire your team? Or do you want to inspire them because they believe what you believe? There's a big difference. Self-fulfillment has an impact on you. You're the only one that wins in self-fulfillment. You're the only one. But in self-development, everybody wins. Because when we're developing ourselves as a human being, and we're developing ourselves as a leader, and we're learning from our mistakes, and don't say failures, guys, because failures, there are never any failures, right? If we're always learning from maybe what we didn't do so good yesterday. And you know, I had to go back and do it the other day. I yelled at my son about something that wasn't even his fault. I had to go back and sit down and look him in the face and apologize to him, because ultimately that, how I act as a person and how I act as a mother and how I act as a friend and how I act as a coach and how I act as a leader, sometimes we have to go back and apologize. And sometimes we have to, you know, admit our mistakes and admit our wrongdoings, right? So self-development has an impact, and you and your team wins. If you're not a leader and you are a hairdresser behind the chair, you still have impact on the people that sit in your chair. If you're constantly developing your talent, if you're constantly developing yourself, that impacts your client. If you don't know how to do something, or you mess up a haircut, or you mess up something, and you go back and you figure out how to do it, and you do it right, and you do it good, and then you do it better, and then you do it even better, and then you do it even better, who does that impact? Both. It impacts you and it impacts your clients. How cool is that? So you have to think about it like this. Some farmers grow food for their own table, and other farmers grow food for the world. And who do you think creates the biggest impact? The farmer that grows food for their own table, or the farmer that grows food for the world? And when you grow food for the world, you think about this. You think about the food that you're growing and how it's going to feed, it's going to sit on the table, and a family sits around the table and they eat the food and they get nourishment. Is it filled with all kinds of pesticides and herbicides and all kinds of stuff? Or are you, if you're a farmer and you're growing your crop and you're feeding, if would you feed that to your own family? I don't know, maybe so. But that self-fulfillment to feed your own table. But when we look at our companies, as everything we do has a ripple effect. So there's a little in the classic drop in of water and it ripples out. Everything we do has an impact, just like if we take a drop of water and it ripples out into a lake or a sea or a bathtub or whatever, it ripples out and it has an effect. Everything you do and say today is going to have an effect on the people, because they go home and then that affects that person. And if you have a positive and you say positive things and you apologize and you hold yourself with integrity, that's the kind of impact that we want to have. And so when we're in action and we're working for positive change in our companies or in our lives, and we start with reflection and we look back on what we need to change, and then we go to direction. What's the direction we take? And that's the information phase. We start gathering that information, and then we start creating a plan. That's our planning phase. And then we start taking action, and we pull the trigger on whatever we've been planning, and we watch how that ripples out and the effect that it has. And think of yourself as an observer of things, not always in action, but an observer of the action in your business, or, you know, of your family or of your friends, or, you know, organization, or whatever it is. Stand back and watch the impact that you're having, and observe whether it's positive or negative. And then it all starts back over again. And we go into reflection, then we go in direction, then we go in action, and then we go in impact. But it's a constant flow. And if we're very conscious about those 4 pillars, I promise you, you will have positive change. Hold yourself accountable, guys. Be thinking about self-development instead of feeding yourself. Think about feeding others. Okay? So now, I told you guys that I was going to give you something special at the end of this. My time is up. And so here's the special offer. Next Monday, I have a class. It's a master class. It's called Blow Up Your Salon Culture. There are 4 cultures, guys. Only 4. Your salon fits into one of those cultures, not 2, only 1. What are the traits of what are the traits of each particular culture? What are the things that we need to watch out for in a culture that could possibly have a negative impact, and we need to guard against in each culture? There is an opposing culture to each culture, so we need to know what that opposing culture is. And your culture is that beautiful, beautiful tree that you guys want to grow, but you can only grow that beautiful tree if you water your roots, right? So how can you water your roots if you have no idea what kind of tree you're growing? So Blow Up Your Salon Culture starts next Monday, July 30th at 9:30 Pacific Standard Time. It's 90 minutes from 9:30 to 11 o'clock. I will post the link so that you can purchase it, because if you purchase it today, no pressure sale, but if you purchase it today, it goes from 47 to 27. Don't tell me you guys can't afford that. Don't tell me it's too expensive. Even if you think you don't need it and you don't have 27 bucks, guys, I know you go to Starbucks. I know you buy Starbucks. I know you buy Starbucks probably every day. So don't buy Starbucks this week if you don't have the money. It's 27 bucks. It's cheap. It's 90 minutes. It's a live interactive masterclass. It is not just me preaching on like I am here. It's me presenting maybe 10 minutes, and then everybody talking about their culture and problems that they have and solving each other's problems, because it is a master class. It is a mastermind. It is not a class where I'm teaching. I present the cultures, I talk about the cultures, and then everybody talks. And when we all share our experience and our knowledge, because you all are knowledgeable and you all have experience. I'm not the only one, right? So I will put the link in the comment section. And if you go on tonight before midnight, you'll get it for 27 bucks. If you wait, it'll be 47 bucks. So even if you don't, like I said, even if you don't think you need it, 27 bucks, just throw 27 bucks at it. What's 27 bucks? It's nothing, really, right? If it you learn something, and you might just learn one thing. All right, so next Wednesday, I will be back about the same time. And what are we going to be talking about? We are going to be talking about what is the most powerful word in marketing. What's the one most powerful word in marketing? What is it? You got to wait till next week to find out. All right. So you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. Have a great week. I wish you much love, much success, happiness, health, wellness, everything you want. If you need me, you know where to find me because you're listening to this Facebook Live, so you can message me. Please comment below anything that you have to say. Thank you all for watching, and have a great week. Bye.